Story 1. Didn't wait? Hello everyone, came a voice from the TV. I moved away from the cabinet and listened carefully. Yes, it's you. Come here, the voice sounded again. I ran into the room and to my surprise the TV was turned off. Damn it again. My name is Vitaya. After that incident I had to leave this damn place. I could not stay in it. I lived in the house of my late parents. 2 floors, plus attic and basement, in the middle of the forest. I'll say it's a creepy place. Friends were afraid to come at night, everything looked very scary, but the housing itself was decent. I loved walking in the back garden. It was big, different varieties of flowers grew there, and of course vegetables. On Friday I was in the garden as usual, but something pulled me into the house. It was as if I suddenly stopped liking the garden. I got up and left. It was cool at home, although it was noticeably warmer outside. I turned on the TV. There was my favorite program, Let's Get Married. I quickly started switching the buttons on the remote control and found nothing. I called my friend Kostya, but he was at rehearsal. Well, don't, I said after hanging up. Okay, I'll go eat. There's only sausage and milk in the refrigerator. Well, okay, that's it. I quickly had a snack and went to the second floor. Very tired after a long time preparing materials on the computer, I jumped onto the bed and fell asleep. What time is it? I muttered. It was 9 o'clock and I felt terrible. My stomach is empty. My head is cracking. I took the phone. The phone screen hit my eyes with a bright light. 12 missed from Kostya. Well, okay, now it's not very important. It was very dark in the house. After sleep I couldn't see anything at all, just not the large outlines of objects. The first thing my brain did was go to the kitchen. There I drank all the milk and went to the cabinet for pills. Hello. A strange, nasty voice came from behind me. I jumped out of surprise and immediately began looking for the light switch, but everything was clear. Come here, it repeated again. I thought it was a TV set, but when I ran into the room there was nothing. This went on all the time. My friends didn't answer the phone. I simply physically couldn't leave the house. I fell asleep all the time and woke up at 9 o'clock. One wonderful day, it was Monday, they brought us mail. As usual they will bring it, but a new one only in a week. Ding ding, the doorbell rang. Mail. Vitaliya, open up. I woke up and it was 8:30. With a smile, I took everything I needed. The postman kept yelling at me to open it. Having collected everything, I went downstairs with my bag and opened the door. After thanking the postman, I took the letter, got into the car and drove away. When I was leaving, in the window of my room I saw the silhouette of a man with bright red eyes, but I didn't care anymore. A couple of months have passed, I'm in a new apartment, and on Friday I felt the urge to sit in the kitchen. Suddenly my head started to hurt. I went to the cabinet to take some pills. Hello everyone, came a voice from the TV. I moved away from the cabinet and listened carefully. Yes, it's you. Come here, the voice sounded again. I ran into the room and to my surprise the TV was turned off. Oh, again. I stood and looked at the dark TV screen. In the reflection behind me, 2 bright red dots were visible. Tears started to come out through my eyes. Fear and horror just dug into my back. I stood there for 5 minutes looking at those blood red eyes. Suddenly there was pitch silence. Didn't wait? Story 2. Our life was measured. I lived for a long time without my husband, but with my little daughter Yulia. The day passed as usual, early in the morning to supervise the household, then to work, and in the evening and until sunset, things generally go on in a jumble. My daughter was in the garden most of the day. One rainy night, a family, a woman and 2 girls, came to our village. They knocked and begged to be let in. I decided to shelter them for the night. They looked strange, even exhausted. The girls had glassy eyes, clenched yellow-black teeth, hid behind their mother all the time, and their mother was pale and thin, as if she had not eaten for many days. She didn't want to answer my questions. She just said that she was very tired and wanted to rest a little. Then, although they seemed strange to us, I gave them a place to stay for the night and left them alone, expecting that in the morning I would find out what had happened. But in the morning they disappeared without a trace. It seemed as if they had never existed, only traces of bare feet in the house. This news quickly spread among the neighbors. After talking, I learned that strange things happened at night. The cattle behaved crazy, there were power outages, many had nightmares, and some could not sleep at all. The day passed as usual. Only in the evening a whispering grandmother came to visit me and began to ask me about everything, and when leaving she said that I had let a dead man into my house and now I should expect trouble. The worst thing is that we are not the first to do this. The next day, The neighbors said that this woman and the girls came to them that same night. There were also those who refused to let them into the house in the middle of the night. After some time, this story began to be forgotten, but unfortunately, not for long. About a week later, this woman appeared to me in a nightmare, only this time she was not so helpless. I was on the street near the house, and I saw her standing over my daughter's bed holding a noose in her hands. I tried to enter the house, but her girls were holding my hands so tightly that I could not do anything, and at that moment I woke up. As soon as these dreams appeared, strange things began to happen in my family. Literally within a week, a cow fell ill and died, chickens began to die, and worst of all, my daughter fell ill. It would seem that a common cold has developed into something serious. A doctor from the city gave me medicine, gave me injections and left, but it didn't make me any better. Such a terrible atmosphere of despair began to reign at home. I felt that this place was radiating some kind of malice towards us. It was unpleasant and scary for me to be in my own home. Then I remembered what the whispering grandmother told me, and decided to talk to her, but I couldn't find her anywhere. People said that she had been missing for a long time, and no one believed that she was with me the next day, after that ill-fated night. In addition, I learned that strange things began to happen not only in my small family. People in our village, too, began to die of cattle. 2 people disappeared completely, but the worst thing is that last night, a guy living 2 houses away from us hanged himself. I returned home and did not expect that that night the worst thing that had ever happened to me in my entire life would happen. Having completed all my work, I had difficulty putting my daughter to bed. She was afraid of something, but not only did she not tell me anything. Afterwards, I couldn't sleep for a long time, and when I fell asleep, I had the same nightmare, but in the middle of it, I suddenly woke up from a strong scream from my daughter's room. I tried to jump out of bed, but someone was holding my hands. A second later, I saw these same girls on both sides of my bed. They were holding me with superhuman strength, not allowing me to get up. Panic horror overwhelmed me. I desperately tried to break free, but the more I tried, the stronger they held me. Having come to my senses, I began to read the prayer that my mother read to me every night when I was scared. After a moment, the grip loosened, and I was able to break free and run to my daughter's room. My heart was pounding. When I entered the room, I saw the disappearing figure of a pale woman. Yulenka had the same noose from my dream around her neck. Quickly removing it, I took my daughter in my arms, and ran out of this house, going to the neighbors. They were not very happy about the night visit, but seeing our condition, they did not resist and did not bother with questions. We spent the rest of the night on pins and needles, and in the morning, without packing our things, without even returning to the house, we left to visit my sister in the city. She didn't immediately believe my story, but when she saw the bruises on my wrists and the marks on Yulia's neck, even she, who didn't believe in all this, crossed herself. At first we lived with my sister, and then we moved to live in the city. They say that the village was empty after 6 months. Most left their homes, and those who stayed did not live long. Now there's only one tract left in that place, with the unofficial name of dead.